Islamic Society of Greater Houston is a vibrant, dynamic Islamic organization covering the entire Greater Houston area. To start this press conference and make the opening remarks is the President of Islamic Society of Greater Houston, Mr. Sohail Sayed.
Good afternoon to everyone. It's a very sad day that we have gathered together here to talk about this heinous act of terrorism against humanity. ISGH Muslim community is together with the families of the victims, and also we are here to denounce the terrorism, the hatred on every level and every front. This is a crime against humanity. As the Prime Minister said, that was the darkest day in the New Zealand history, but I believe it is one of the darkest days in the humanity. And we should not allow, we should all speak together and stand together to fight this hatred on every level, whether it is hatred against faith-based community or it's hatred against any non-faith-based community, against anybody. We are all together. Mayor?
Thank you very much, Mr. Sayed. Next we have the leader of Houston community, somebody who has always stood with the American Muslim community of Greater Houston, our Mayor, Sylvester Turner.
Thanks, Seth, and thanks, President Sayed. And certainly to all of those who are standing here, Chief Acevedo, people representing the Interfaith Ministries, the Jewish community as well, the county, a wide spectrum of individuals. This is one of those moments that where words are just not enough. I mean, no matter how you look for them, they are not enough. But certainly it is important for Houston to stand with the Muslim community that live right here in the city of Houston, that help make this city what it is, the great city that it is. And this is a moment when words are not enough, but our presence hope to say to others that we are all in this together. It doesn't matter where a heinous act is committed, whether it's in this city or whether it's in New Zealand. If it's a heinous act against one, it is a heinous act against us all. And so we are all connected. Let me just say the city of Houston shares the Islamic Society of Greater Houston's heartache and sense of loss over the deadly shootings at the two mosques in New Zealand. I am here today along with others to stand with faith leaders and others in our community to say that our city, in the strongest of terms, condemns the kind of hate and bigotry that motivated the gunman to enter two mosques and live stream on social media his despicable actions as he pointed his firearm and ruthlessly shot and killed innocent men and women. There are no words, absolutely no words, to describe the horror the victims must have felt, just as we struggle to comprehend such a heinous act and describe the sadness and pain our community feels today. People are supposed to feel safe when they're in places of worship, a mosque, a synagogue, a church, and it is a refuge and a sanctuary of peace, a place of prayer, and a filled sense of hope. When someone commits a cowardly act of violence against anyone because of their religion, nationality, or any other reason, it is an attack against each one of us, and we must not and cannot remain silent. In fact, it is incumbent on all of us to stand in solidarity against that type of hatred. Earlier today, the Houston Police began direct patrols, and Chief Acevedo will speak to that, around area mosques, and officers will begin to make direct contact with mosque staff members so that we have an open relationship and can work together to identify threats and prevent copycats from doing harm. Houston is the most diverse city in the nation, and we are very proud of that. And we are a welcoming city where more than 100 languages are spoken, and people of different faith engage and practice their faith within our city. So we must stand and remain partners together to protect that strong relationship that we have built in this city and that we value in this city. And as your mayor, I will continue to stand with you and pray for the lives lost in New Zealand and promise that our city will do everything within its power to protect lives and show everyone who lives in our city, especially our American Muslim brothers and sisters, that we are as one. And that no acts of violence can separate us from one another. We are inextricably connected, and a heinous act committed against one is a heinous act committed against us all, regardless of where it takes place in this world.
Thank you, Mayor.
Please hold your comments. We'll have remarks by our police chief, Art, and then we'll take some questions. Art, please.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and always setting the tone, a welcoming tone for the nation's most diverse city. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims in New Zealand and our friends and our colleagues in New Zealand that had to deal with the aftermath of this cowardly act by a person who obviously has hate in their heart. And like the mayor said, and I think we can all say, we're a community of many, but we have a shared heart of one. And we have a heart for people. We have a heart for diversity. This morning, the Houston Police Department, I sent out a directive to all area commands to actually conduct what's called directed patrols in our mosques. Today's the holy day for the Sabbath, if you will, for the Muslim community. Directed patrol means that there will be a higher visibility at the 33 mosques throughout the city of Houston. I can tell you that on behalf of Sheriff Gonzalez and the county, they are doing the same thing throughout the county, throughout the region, and on behalf of the Major State Chiefs, I can tell you it's happening around the country. An attack on any religious institution based on hate is absolute, I think the most heinous of hate crimes. People in a place of worship should be safe. And in this country, we've seen it happening, people being attacked based on hate, not just in mosques, but in synagogues in Pittsburgh, AME churches. It seems like it knows no boundaries. But I can tell you that in our city, we are prepared to continue to monitor the threat streams, to continue to do community policing, relational policing, to build the bonds, to strengthen our bonds. And in our city, thanks to the leadership of Mayor Turner and the welcoming spirit that he exudes everywhere he goes, we stand united as a community of many, but a heart of one, and we look forward to taking any questions in a few minutes. Thank you.
Please, we now open for questions.
Before we do that, we have our Jewish leader community here.
Actually, I'm here. I'm Jay Harburg. I'm here on behalf of Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston. We just want to say that today is a dark day filled with despair, fear, and hurt, and outrage. Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston joins the world in condemning the horrific acts of hatred at the Al-Noor and Linwood mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand. We should all feel safe, as Chief said, in our houses of worship. We offer our prayers and condolences to the victims and their families and to all of the people of New Zealand. Our hearts are heavy, but we know that people of goodwill all over the world will not allow hate to overshadow our shared core beliefs, and that our love and compassion for each other will eventually prevail. Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston, representing all of Houston's communities of faith, is proud to stand here today in solidarity with New Zealanders and our Muslim brothers and sisters in Houston and worldwide. Thank you.
Please.
Randy Zarlinski with the American Jewish Committee. It goes without saying on this sad day that it's time to reach out to our Muslim partners and friends and to the mosque with which we have deep relationships. In fact, next Tuesday night, our Muslim Jewish Advisory Council meets right here at the Islamic Center with the district attorney to discuss hate crimes and hate crime reporting. We know from the Muslim community how important it was, the outreach after the Pittsburgh shootings. And today, as the Muslim community absorbs this tragedy and our community absorbs the tragedy, we make our solidarity clear. And tonight, in New Zealand, synagogues are closing in solidarity with the Muslim community in New Zealand. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before we take any questions, this is the time of a great vulnerability of our communities that we must stand together. We must fight together for this hatred and stand up for each other. I would like to read a small statement from one of the ladies that stopped by from this neighborhood. And she brought some flowers, and there is a statement here from her. She says, I pray for an end to this violence. I pray for the peace in this world, and I mourn with you, Laurie, a neighbor. And this is the love we need to spread. Muslims are part of the social fiber of this country, especially the diverse and a very dynamic city of Houston. We stand, this is against terror against Muslim today. It could be terror against Jews community tomorrow. It could be some other faith-based community. There is no faith, there's no religion for the terrorists. There's no religion, they don't belong to any religion, and we condemn this heinous act. Thank you very much. And we are ready to take any questions you have.
No, we've been checking with our federal, state partners and our county partners throughout the entire country here, and we don't have any specific threats to our area. But again, this is a time that reminds us we have to be vigilant. We have to make sure we have good security protocols in place. And it's sad to say that in the year 2019, we still have these kind of hateful acts going on throughout our country and around the world that we just have to be vigilant. We haven't found any connections yet.
Any other questions? Mayor, why do you feel
Whether you are Christian, Jewish, Muslim, for the people who were killed and injured in New Zealand, they are us. We are all one and the same. And hatred is evil, and there are people in our world that's trying to divide the global community and pit one against the other. And you can't give people a toehold. And in order to confront that hatred that seeks to divide the diversity that exists, even within our city, it is important that when it does show up, we have to stand together as a unit. Okay? Because I am as much connected to my Muslim brothers and sisters as I am connected to the Jewish community, as I am connected to people in the Christian community. And that's the way you defeat hatred. You say to hatred, in the face of evil, you do not win. And we're not going to let you win. And we are not going to let you separate one from another. Because evil done against one is evil done against each other. And so that's why it's important. I represent the most diverse city in the United States, when 1 of 4 Houstonians is foreign born. And Muslim in this community, they are this community. This is not some foreign, we're not talking about some foreign group. Muslims are this community. Jews are this community. Christians are this community. And in this community, we stand as one.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there any other question?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We will be having our Friday prayers starting at 1:30.
Let me say one thing. But in order to protect the city as much as Chief Acevedo and his officers will be doing, if you see something, hear something, know something, okay, it's incumbent upon each one of us to say something, okay? Because a lot of this can be prevented. But people have to be willing to see, if they see it, if they hear it, if they know it. You cannot condone it, and you cannot protect it.
One quick question, Mayor, about the Cheetah. If you can provide some insight with regard to the fact that you have a mindset of a madman behind all this. If it's also from the law enforcement vantage point that to take it to the next level in live streaming.
Well, look, this is a terrorist, right? This is a terrorist that was driven by hate. And if you are a terrorist driven by hate, you want to show pride in your work. And what he's trying to do is spread this stuff to spread hate. But like the mayor said, a lot of this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. People talk, people make comments, and when you start hearing people talking about hurting others, you've got to come forward. Because anyone that knew about this, whether or not they took it seriously or not, didn't say anything, is morally partially responsible for the deaths of, I believe at last count, 49 people, 49 innocent people. And so it does take a community. That's why I think the mayor hit it on the head about we got to speak out. We've got to speak up, and we've got to be, as one, stand up for one another. Yeah. It's pretty sickening. So, but I think it speaks for itself, and it speaks to the lack of humanity on a person. You're morally corrupt and you're dead. You're soulless when you walk it. Regardless of what your religious beliefs are, I don't know of any type of religious literature that talks about, whether it's the Quran or the Torah or the Bible, it talks about let's go into a place of worship and kill people.
Yeah.
And then let's just go ahead and show it to the world so we can terrorize people. And it takes all of us together to stand against it to be able to put a stop to it. So thanks.
A good question, and I would request the media, if you have that video on your website, to please take it down and do not be part of this propaganda. So that will really help. Thank you very much for a very good question.
Actually, we would like to end by saying that the best words came out of the mouth of the Prime Minister of New Zealand when she said that they are us. Muslim communities everywhere, all over the world, and Houston is an example. They are part and parcel of the society where they live, where they work, where they belong to. So thank you so much. Our prayers will be starting at 1:30. You're more than welcome to cover the prayers as they happen. Please be mindful and respectful of the worshipers. You can take their comments as they exit. Thank you so much.
And I'd like to thank Mayor for being here, the Chief of Police, and all the elected officials, and all the media for covering this. Thank you very much.